Welcome back to Pragmatic Presence. I want to tell you what I would do if I was to start my meditation practice all over again. That's over 10,000 hours of experience, reintegrating back into life with what I learned, following many teachers, exhausting many rabbit holes, going around in circles, and essentially leading to where I am now. And like I say, I apply these techniques and this methodology to many clients and people that I know, and it's worked very effectively for them. None of this is medical advice. Do what you please, and remember, it's your path, your journey. Do what works for you. This is what I would do if I was to start my meditation journey all over again, knowing what I know now. First thing we need to do is make yourself feel safe. That's so important, right? Because you want to be able to do it in a comfortable environment, and you want to be able to make sure that you just have minimal distractions for this thing. You want to treat it like a sacred practice. You really do. So yeah, do whatever you can to make yourself feel safe in that, because it can be a very intimate thing. So if you're not going to be in a place where you feel good and grounded and relaxed and essentially in parasympathetic mode, then you're not going to feel safe and you won't get the most from your practice. This is really important in the beginning. And the one thing I would do is make sure that I felt safe in everything I did. That was making sure that my life wasn't stressful and that I decluttered it as much as possible. Yeah, I was taking care of my health, exercising, getting good rest, all of that stuff, proper nutrition. All of that's going to help my body feel safe. But it also comes down to the relationships as well I'd have in my life. I wouldn't get rid of people, but I'd make sure that everyone who was in my life, or that I was at least sharing it with, here's an important thing, anyone that I'm sharing my practice with, I'd make sure that I really trusted them. Or I probably wouldn't share it with them till I become more comfortable with it myself, right? Really important. And then the next thing is I would welcome the discomfort. I'd welcome anything that comes. The last thing I would try and do is silence whatever comes, right? That would just create more conflict, and I'd start feeling like I was doing it wrong and getting in my own way. There's no right or wrong way to do it. It's inevitable that you will get in your own way, but with the knowing and understanding that I need to welcome all of that will make your practice much more fruitful. So yeah, I would welcome everything. Welcome all of the shit. And whatever the experience was when I sat down would be the experience, and I would work on being okay with whatever that was. I would try and go into it with zero intentions. You're going to have many intentions in the beginning, and they will try and grow and build on each other. But yes, my approach would strictly be, I'm just going to welcome it. Whatever arises, I'm going to welcome it. I don't need to be perfectly still. I don't need to silence everything. Okay? Then number 3, what I would do is I would find a voice that I can trust. This is a huge one, and it does loop back to the other two. An easy way to bring more safety and feel welcomed with a practice is to find a voice you trust. This could be anyone. It could be a YouTube channel where you find their voice relaxing, a guided meditation on one of the apps. It could be in-person sessions, guided meditations with someone whose voice you like to hear, or a narrator, or anybody like that, or binaural beats. If you don't like to listen to somebody's voice, doing a guided meditation. Find music, binaural beats, things that are soothing, things that make you want to stay, things that make you feel welcomed, things that make you feel safe. So yes, find a voice you can trust that encourages you to want to keep doing it. A voice, a sound, something that soothes you initially and makes you think, oh yeah, I could do more of that. I like to hear what this person has to say. They clearly know what they're talking about. I trust this person. You might need to go around a few different ones, you probably will. And you'll get sick of people's voices from time to time. You'll get sick of the same sounds, same music, same binaural beats. That's normal. But build up a library of things that you trust. And over time, you'll start to build more trust in your practice because you'll have practiced feeling safe and welcome in many different ways, like we've just discussed. Trust is a big one. There will be certain people's take on meditation and certain voices, my own included for some people, that you just won't like, and that's okay. But it will push you in the direction of finding ones you do like. And bask in those for as long as you can, or as long as you need to. Next up, we have practice. I always say to people, take your practice seriously, but don't take yourself seriously in practice. Let's repeat that. Take your practice seriously, but don't take yourself seriously in practice. What do I mean by that? Be as committed as I could be to my approach to meditation. Make specific, deliberate action towards getting better at it and being more committed. Still welcoming everything that comes, but deliberately finding time in my day to put it as one of my priorities. And that's what I mean by taking the practice seriously. I'm committing to it long term. Doing whatever it takes to make it part of my life. But I don't want to take myself seriously in practice because it will bring up many things that I wasn't prepared for. It will bring up many things you aren't prepared for. If I was to take myself too seriously in practice, which I did for a long time, and you will too, but reminding myself not to take myself seriously in practice is so important. You don't want it to turn into a habit where you start neglecting other things, or it sucks you down rabbit holes too much, or you become attached to it, or just start seeing how you perform. This is the biggest one. Taking yourself seriously in your practice just means you're going to be judging yourself all the time around how you showed up and how you didn't do it, or how you're failing, or your inadequacies that arise all of the time. Lean into not taking any of that too seriously. That will be one of the hardest bits though, but just understanding that it's integral to the journey to work on not taking yourself too seriously will really, really help. I know it would have helped me a lot if I knew it sooner. I probably didn't know that till about 10 years in. Yeah. And then next up we have therapy. Not medical advice to anyone. I'm an advocate for anyone to go to therapy. It's so stigmatized, it's silly. Most of that is from the unknown and the fear. And we've created an incredible gap between us, most people, and therapy, because going to it means you're broken or you're needing fixing. That's what most people attach that label to it, don't they? It doesn't mean you're either of those. It can actually be very empowering. You'll just learn more about yourself, therefore get more from your life. I'm not saying it's easy, but that's one of the things I would have done straight away. Is as soon as I started meditating, the things that would help me feel safe, welcome, and trust the practice would be a really good therapist, an integral psychotherapist, or somebody who is open to the sense of self and mind identification. I would avoid any therapist who isn't, or isn't practicing that, because they won't be able to help you with awakening. They wouldn't have been able to help me with awakening. I'd find a good therapist because it would have complemented the journey so much. Everything that arises, everything I was trying to make sense of, finding someone who'd done it before me, a professional who can help me extract those things and then reintegrate with those realizations, again, would have been so fruitful for my practice. And I'm confident that with all of these steps, I would have been able to do what I did in 19 years, probably in 5. And then the last thing is to aim to transcend all of these steps, including the last one. The last thing I would have in mind as the end goal, even though there isn't one technically, would be to transcend all of these steps eventually, including the need to transcend. Get that one. All of these steps. The last thing I would aim to do is transcend all of them. Not because I'm better than any of them, but I would want my practice to get to a point where I would no longer need these boxes ticking, because I've exhausted the practice, because I've got everything I need from it. Therefore, I would be ready to transcend it, but also be free from feeling like I've transcended in leveling up these things, because like I said, I'm not better than them. They just don't serve the purpose for me anymore. So to recap, if I was to restart my 10,000 hours of meditation practice over again, I would make myself feel safe. I would welcome everything. I would build up trust with teachers and music and environments and spaces that I like, that resonate with me. I would take my practice seriously, but I wouldn't take myself too seriously in practice. I would find a good integral psychotherapist who's open to awakening. And then I would aim to transcend all of these things, including the act of transcendence itself. I really hope this has been useful for you. Drop a comment and let me know what you think. See you in the next video.